Back in 2012, I was at the San Jose airport. We were going as a family to Hawaii, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I went into the bathroom. San Jose airport is a not a big airport. The bathrooms were small as well, kind of fit where we were going. So when I walked into the bathroom, I understand I'm asking you to picture this, but whatever. There's two stalls on the left, there's two stalls on the right, and there's three urinals in the middle. And you walk in right into the middle, two on the left, two on the right, three in the middle. Well, I had to use one of the stalls. And I noticed when I walked in, there was one guy in front of me that wasn't making any headway toward the urinal, so he was waiting for a stall. And he was a pilot. He was in the full pilot uniform, everything. He had to go to the bathroom, as did I, and so I just stood behind him. Now, I stood there behind him. I have no idea how long it was that he was standing there, but I stood there for what seemed like forever. And I understand that it seems like forever when you have to go to the bathroom, but it seemed like at least 5 minutes. So I'm going to say 5 minutes. And I was getting really desperate, as it were. And so finally, I turned to the pilot, who was kind of in front of me, and I just kind of patted him on the shoulder, and I said, "Wait a sec, I got this." And I said in a very loud voice where everybody could hear me, which is what you have to do. And I said, "Get off your phones. There's a line out here." I said that. Now, within 30 seconds, three of those four stalls became vacant. What were guys doing? Well, they were looking on their phone. They were checking out this. They were checking their email. They were checking Facebook, maybe. They were checking Instagram. They were checking their dating app. Whatever it was that they were doing, they were checking it out. They were looking at it on their phone, just sitting there, oblivious to what other people needed. And I finally got what I absolutely needed. There's two types of people in this world. I'm going to get to this in a minute. But there's people who sit in the bathroom and look on their phone. And there's people that don't look on their phone when they're in the bathroom. They go in, they do their business, and they leave. That's a little bit of a different story. But I want to talk to you about this. I want to talk to you about three excuses. You just have to do it. It's easier than you think. I want to talk to you about why you're not putting stuff online and all you're doing is consuming stuff that's online. 90 plus percentage, probably even more, of the people in the world consume what's online, but they don't create anything. They don't put anything out there themselves. And the reason why is because of one of these three excuses. So the very first excuse is this: I have nothing to say. Yeah, you do. You make comments on Facebook every now and then. You have something to say. You know you have something to say. But you have an excuse. I've got nothing to say. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Nobody. And you think, well, I don't want to get involved, and nobody cares what I have to say. I had to do something with my Jeep Wrangler, which you're always doing something to try and fix your Jeep Wrangler, by the way. Mine's a 97, so it's 25, 20. It's really old. It's an old Jeep. So you have to do stuff to it. And I called up an engineer friend and I said, hey, do you know anything about this where I might be able to fix this? And he says, you know what I do? He says, I really don't have an answer for you, Bill, but you know what I do? I get on YouTube and I just look it up. And I usually get a lot of my answers from there. And I'm going, well, if it's good enough for an engineer, it's good enough for me. So what did I do? I pulled out YouTube, went on there. There must have been 15, 20, 25, 30. I didn't go all the way down to the bottom, telling me how to fix my one problem that I had, all by different people. It wasn't the same guy putting something out there. It was all by different people. Every one of them had something to say, and it was all the same thing. It was how to fix this problem. You're thinking, well, I don't want to get involved, or I don't. My opinion doesn't matter. Well, yeah, your opinion does matter, because the solution to nobody. You say you have nothing to say. The solution is very simple. The solution is believe in yourself and trust your heart. That's a solution. You do have something to say. The question is, why don't you say it? Which leads me to the second excuse, because the second excuse, a lot of people do this as well. Well, everybody else is saying it, which is kind of what I alluded to. One and two kind of go together. Let's be honest. Nobody has, I have nothing to say. Yeah, you do. And the second excuse is, well, maybe I do have something to say, but everybody else is already saying it. So what? Say it your way. Say it that way. And it's different. It's different. And that's important, because I was down in Panama in 2012. My wife and my daughter, we went to a resort. We hung around there. Obviously went to a resort, do nothing for a whole week. And as we were leaving, getting in the shuttle bus van to take us back to where we were, to the airport, what did we do? We got in there and we pulled out of the main gate and we headed south down the coast. We passed another resort and another resort and another resort and another resort and another resort. The resorts all along the coast. Now, what's different about them? You're thinking, well, everybody else is saying it. Well, it's just like the resort. Every one of these resorts had the same view. Sunset, facing west. Sunset out over the Pacific Ocean. Same beach, same view, same everything. And guess what? Absolutely all the same, except they're all different. And that's you. You make the excuse that everybody else is already saying it, but may not be saying it the way you could say it. They may not be explaining it the way you explain it. Back to me in my Jeep, I would watch a video and I'm going, I don't get it. I don't understand. So I watch another video that's pretty much exactly the same thing, but the guy explained it in just a slightly different way. I went, oh, okay. I'm into that. I understand that. And that's why it takes different people explaining the same thing. It'd be crazy that I live in a small city of about 110,000 people, and it'd be absolutely crazy for us to have just one restaurant. And everybody else say, well, we've already got a restaurant. We don't need another one. It's like saying, hey, there's one church in town. We don't need another one. Or somebody saying, hey, we've got one car dealership in town. We don't need another one. Yeah, we do. We don't want everybody in town driving around Hyundais, do we? No, we really don't. So the second excuse is, everybody else is saying it. Everybody else is saying it. We don't have to say it. Well, yeah, you kind of do. The solution to this is, see yourself as the fresh voice and a fresh message that everyone is waiting to hear. Somebody is out there waiting to hear how you have to say it, how you have to talk about it, how you have to give an opinion for it, because they're waiting for your thoughts, your point of view. They're waiting for you. And the third one brings it all together, and that's this: fear. You don't do it simply because you're afraid. You may have something to say, and you know that you can say it in a way that other people don't say it. You know that you can say it in a way that's clear for a lot of people. And you know people are waiting for you. You know people are waiting for you to get out there and do something. You know that, but you're afraid of what people might think of you. You are. So what? I listen to a guy a lot, and he says this about every other video that I watch of him. He says, punch fear in the face and just press record. Exactly. Punch fear in the face and just press record. Make a video, put it out there. Go live. You're going to make mistakes? Yes. You have a fear of making mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. This is my second time doing this video. The first time I did the entire thing, and guess what happened? I didn't have the volume set the right way, so there was zero volume. Are you kidding me? Zero volume? Yeah. That's what happened to me. That's what, this morning, 30 minutes ago, I did an entire video online live, and there was no volume. Okay, I made a mistake. I'm doing it again. And that's okay. You may have a fear of saying, well, if I put something out there, no one will listen to me. Well, they won't listen to me because I pulled that video down, obviously, because there was no volume. Nobody was listening to me. And guess what? When you put a video out there, even with volume, there's many people that won't watch. So what? You put it out there anyway. You put it out there anyway. That's the important thing, that you are willing to put it out there. There's an idea of fear that comes along the line of a teenager, 13, 14 years old, and their very first date. They have a tremendous fear of asking that girl on a date. They're afraid. They don't do it for weeks. Sometimes they don't do it for months. But finally, they build up the courage, and that guy walks up to that girl and asks her out on a date, and she says yes. And all of a sudden, you're thinking, I could have asked you this 3 months ago, but I waited 3 months because I was afraid. I was afraid. So they go out on this first date, and what's he doing? He's afraid. He's absolutely afraid. He's afraid that she won't like him on the date, that she won't be nice on the date, whatever. He's just afraid. He's just afraid, but he wants to hold her hand. So when they're through whatever it is that they went on the date for, and they may be walking back to her place, whatever the situation may be, he takes the leap of something that he's absolutely afraid to do, and he touches her hand. And she responds, and they hold hands. And they walk back, and they hold hands. Something that he'd been wanting to do for months, but afraid to do. Afraid to ask her out, afraid to hold her hand, afraid, just afraid. But when he finally does it, that's pretty cool. But he never kisses her goodnight. But he does ask for a second date, and she says yes. And on the second date, he doesn't wait 4 hours to hold her hand. That barrier has already been broken. He holds her hand in the first half hour, right? He holds her hand in the first half hour. Because that barrier has already been broken. The fear barrier of asking her out has been broken. The fear barrier of asking, of holding her hand is broken, so it's a lot easier the next time. And this time he busts fear in the face, so to speak, and he goes in and gets his first kiss. And the next date, he doesn't wait nearly as long to give her a kiss goodnight. But you have to break the fear barrier every time. The solution is to lean into your fear in order to overcome it. So why do it? I mean, why do it at all? In this world, there's two types of people that are online. I'm not kidding. There's two types of people. Only two. You're thinking, well, there's people who watch videos about cars, and there's people who connect with their family, and there's people who do this and people who do that, and people who have political opinions and all these types of things. But guess what? There's only two types of people online. There's consumers and there's creators. That's it. That's all there is. Consumer or creator. Think of it in a slightly different way. A consumer or a contributor. People are waiting for you to contribute. People are waiting for you to put something out there. People are waiting for you. They want to hear your voice. They want to hear your opinion. They want to hear your take. They want to hear you. Now, there's no excuse at this point for you not to put something out there online. And I'm not just talking about a family post on Facebook. Do a video. Take the chance. Punch fear in the face. Press record. Sean Cannell says, punch fear in the face. Just press record. I challenge you to do exactly that. And guess what? It's easier. It's easier than you think. And that's the really, really cool thing. It's easier than you think. I want to ask you something at the very end of this video. I want to ask you this. Down in the description on YouTube, which is where you may be watching this, there's a link to a Google form where it says ask specific questions. I want you to ask a specific question for me to answer. I want to teach and show you how to do easy graphics, easy online, easy video, easy live streaming, because it is easier than you think. And if you just get past the fear and you just get past these excuses, I want you to ask me specific questions, whether it's technical or whether it's more general, whatever it is. Hey, Bill, how do you do this? I'd love to answer your question. I'd love to answer your question. So find that down in the description. And by the way, if you would please, I would love it if you would subscribe to this channel.